Welcome to the show. Good afternoon, I'm Dana Devine, and thank you so much for watching. This next half hour is sponsored by the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. We're a non-for-profit organization in the business of free mammograms for uninsured women, for underinsured women, or women who are just unsure. If you need a mammogram, or anybody else you know over 40 has not gotten one in the last year, write the number down right there, 312-942-3368. Or you can visit chicagobreastcancer.org. We are waiting on you right now. Okay, somebody right now waiting for you. We have a Latina navigation team waiting for you. Don't miss this opportunity to save your own life, okay? You know, it's that time of the year, you guys. We are headed to Springfield Advocacy Day on May 7th, 2019. The task force, we're requesting $15 million in state general revenue funds to support the Illinois breast and cervical cancer programs. And unlike many other cancers, cervical cancer can be completely prevented by the vaccination HPV and a high quality screening. Okay, you know, breast cancer, when found early, has an almost 100% survival rate. So it's very important to secure funding. Join us May 7th. The information is there. Call the same information, 312-942-3368 if you want more information and you want to go, or somebody else that you know wants to go. Okay. You see, I have some special guests. I'm not hiding them. They're not rolling in today. They are sitting here waiting to talk to you. But before I get to them, I just want to remind you that your birth month is a great marker for you to get your annual examinations, your physical exams, your mammography, your pap smear, all of your annual exams. Think about your birth month as your marker. And be self-breast aware and definitely know your family's history is 2019. No more excuses. Don't deny. Verify. All right? You can call in right now if you want to join this conversation, 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060, and we will stop and listen to what you have to say. But today I want you to meet two sheroes. You know, I love that all of my guests have a different perspective, a different testimony, a different purpose, but they still deliver one crystal clear message, and that's early detection saves lives 99% of the time. Don't deny, verify. That's what I say. So today, we're going to address our hidden scars, the ones that you will never see. Our first guest here, Noel Storm. Wave your hand, Noel. That's Noel.
Hi.
She had a double mastectomy in 2007, and she started a mastectomy support group at Living Well Cancer Resource Center in Geneva. The support group is where you met your very good girl, I guess your BFF, it sounds like, Kathy, we call her Casey Clavey, and you also had a double mastectomy.
That's correct.
In 2009.
9.
So you're 10 years out. Congratulations on that. And so, you guys met, you came together, you're friends now. Tell me all about that.
Yeah, I met Casey through the mastectomy surgery that she had, and we met at her house, and we got talking, and we became fast friends. Through that conversation, we decided that we wanted to help other women who were facing a mastectomy and surgery, and help them with the emotional impact of that surgery.
Mm-hmm. And so what did you do about that? Well, what was your approach?
Casey and I decided that we'd really, really like to share with many, many, many women, so we decided we'd like to try and figure out a way to create a documentary.
All right. Mm-hmm. And you did that.
And we did it.
And you did that. You did exactly that. From nobody knew anything to we had an idea to you have an extraordinary documentary, and it's called Hidden Scars. So Casey, who had the script and who did the outline? What was the initial where you got started. Where was the first step?
We were very fortunate that someone I knew had a client whose son was a instructor of film at Northern Illinois University. And so we met with Michael Corvino, and we filmed 16 hours of video, and you were in it. And we developed an idea, an outline of the categories and topics we wanted to make sure this emotional impact was covered. So from the point of diagnosis to surgery to recovery to body image, intimacy, recovery, what you learn in moving forward. So it's the entire story from the point of diagnosis on through moving forward with your life and your new normal, as they say. And so it was a process we had to work on over 8 years before it was completed.
Wow.
It's very, very labor and time intensive.
Absolutely. Right. It's lots of testimony and stories that you have to pour through. I think that's awesome. So what did you find in your story? So you did mastectomy. You only interviewed women with mastectomies, no lumpectomies?
No, it was just specifically the emotional impact of a mastectomy. And so we had a nice, diverse group of women who shared their stories, and we found that while there were many differences, there were just as many things that are common to that journey, because everybody's unique and has their own journey.
Well, I was actually a part of that, as Casey did say, and that has nothing to do with why this documentary is so amazing. However, it was actually very, very cathartic to sit with women, and we really delved into some, like you said, deep topics. And we moved from intimacy and some of the, what were some of the other diagnosis,
the surgery itself.
And so, what was, were there any, like, what were the common threads that you found among all these women? If you could lace it all up and sew it together, what did you find out? We all said the same what?
First off, through diagnosis. Most women were diagnosed either through mammograms or self-awareness, finding their own lump. But many through diagnosis, through mammograms. We also found that everybody, after they were diagnosed with breast cancer, the fear set in. So everybody was very fearful of what was to come, what was going to be coming up later. Then when they were, all of us were told we needed a mastectomy, either one or two, then that fear was created as well. I mean, what's going to happen? Is it going to hurt? Of course it's going to hurt, but how much pain are we going to experience? And everything thereafter. I mean, how do we cope with not having a breast?
I think that a very common theme was the fact that the healthcare team did not address the emotional impact prior to surgery. And so many women found themselves in a situation where they were very anxious, very sad, and no one had prepared them for the deep emotions that they would experience. And I think the other piece to this is all of the women went through and discovered that they're very similar to the grief process.
Right.
And that it's hard work to get through that grief process of losing that deeply feminine part of yourself. But the other piece that through hard work and patience and time and love and support was the fact that almost every single woman we talked to, I would say, came through the process knowing what was really important in life and how strong they really are, and how if you let the support in, you can get through this journey and go on living your life. And so I think we experienced during the filming the fact that each of these women are unique, but they all went through this sense of not feeling like a woman, being very sad, missing the touch of their husband, because you don't have that feeling like you used to with touch.
Sensation, the same
Correct,
sensation.
thank you. And so
We're numb.
Right.
that all of those deep emotions, and that's why we wanted to address it so women would know that these are normal emotions, and you will get through it. It takes time, your own path.
I think one thing for sure, you have to make a lot of very life-changing decisions in a short amount of time.
Very quickly.
So you can bombard yourself with lots of information, which may also make your head spin. Or you can follow the protocol that they give you and hope that you've gone to the right doctor and do a little research and find out what. But nobody can prepare you. I don't even think they want to. I really don't think if they really sat a woman down and said, now let me tell you what is really going to happen when you take these bandages off, you'd be scared to death. And some women would not proceed. So I think, they can't tell you the whole story if they told you the whole story. But I think in the afterwards, there's life.
Right, and
Oh,
I
yes.
think that's the beauty of hidden scars is that it is something that can be used before, depending on the woman. Some women want as much information as they
Right,
can,
that's right.
and others don't. And so each individual will determine what and how much information they need.
Yeah, so were you I need all the information?
Yes. As a retired nurse, I spent hours researching and making my decision as far as what I would have done. And in the end, I would have had to have a mastectomy anyway. But on the other hand,
I was diagnosed and I had surgery 2.5 weeks later. So I didn't prepare at all. I mean, I went with the doctors that were given to me, and I loved them. They were my wonderful team of
Right.
doctors, and everything went well. But I didn't think I needed to know more.
I had
It would
more
have
of Noel's
scared
approach.
me. It would have
Exactly.
really scared me.
I kind of went along with the program and I followed the leader.
Yeah.
mine was 9 days after diagnosis. My surgery.
Your surgery.
Yeah.
So you didn't wait long either. You stayed up all night then. You stayed up all night pouring through the books. Wow.
But I think it's the hidden scars, and a breast cancer diagnosis, even though it's life impacting and changing, there's so much hope, as you said, with the statistics on survival. There, you deal with it, you go through it, you live these emotions, you work through them, and life is beautiful and goes on.
Yep, life is beautiful.
Well, that's for sure. So now, in your documentary, 8 years later, are all of your women still alive?
No.
No, we've lost one.
Interesting. Now, did she have a mastectomy?
She had a bilateral, yes.
A bilateral mastectomy. Early stage diagnosis?
I think because she had to find insurance,
Ooh.
that it took longer, and because of that, hers I think was at least a stage 3.
Which reminds me that if you do not have any insurance, you can call the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force right now, and we will navigate you from screening to diagnostic to surgery to treatment, all the way through from A to Z. Write the number down, 312-942-3368, because what Noel just shared with us is tragic. Or you can find us at chicagobreastcancer.org. Don't deny, verify. Now I'm gonna put that up again, because get your cameras out. Take a picture. If you don't have your pen nearby, take a photo of the screen in front of you right now, okay? Share it with somebody today. So that's unfortunate. And she was a young woman.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
The other thing, Dana, is something like the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force reminds me of how important it is for the support that you give women and make available to them, because what I did was wall myself off from support that would be most lovingly given. And I isolated myself, which is a very unhealthy thing to do. And so I think your task force is phenomenal in the fact that it leads to that support and the knowledge. So
why did you do? Why did you? Why?
because I'm extremely private, which is so funny now that all
You're
of this
public.
is going on.
Now they're very public.
I'm extremely private, and so there's many people that did not know
Right.
about my diagnosis, and so that was part of my journey and learning process, was the need to open yourself up to the loving support that people want to give you, and how it will really impact and make your journey much more positive.
No test, no testimony. So, since your diagnosis, 10 years for you and a little more for you, what has changed in your lifestyle? What'd you say? Have you made any just major lifestyle changes? Emotional, physical, nutritional?
So many things have changed. But for me, my big focus is family. So many things have changed within my family. But also me personally, I've tried to become much more healthier with diet and exercise and all of that stuff that they tell us we need to do.
And so on the hidden scars,
Yes.
okay, the ones that are hidden, what keeps you up at night still? Anything?
My priority after my surgery was to help other women through the emotional impact of a mastectomy. So keeping me up at night still is trying to outreach to people, to women, to men, and help them through that whole journey. I'm almost 12 years out now, and I still see the scars every day. It's something that will never disappear, but certainly the emotions have changed and they've become less. But when you look at yourself in the mirror every day, you see it. Yep.
And you're reminded.
And you're reminded, certainly you are. So in that aspect, it never goes away.
And Casey, I'm going to ask you the same question. Have you made any major lifestyle changes?
I retired from a very stressful job.
Okay, that's major.
Yeah, and I think for me, probably one of the biggest impacts is understanding what's truly important in my life and not letting the little things bother me, stress me. I'm a type A personality, so I always have to kind of hold back on that. But I really think for me, it's the simplicity of life and how beautiful those things are.
I love it. Now, this is a question I ask my guests. Can you think of anything 2 years prior to your diagnosis? Was there any traumatic experience that you recall, any huge loss that occurred prior to your diagnosis that you can call? Yes, no? No loss?
No loss. A tremendous amount of stress in my job.
Okay.
I would say a huge amount of stress that I was under.
For me, 2 years prior to my diagnosis, my twin sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. But she did not require surgery.
Earlier
Yes. Yes.
detection. So now, when your sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, were you more aware? Did that make you? Okay, so you said 2 years prior to your diagnosis. That means you could have missed 1 year, or did you go the next year after her diagnosis and you had a clean scan?
Yes.
And
I always had a clean scan.
until the 1 year
Until
that you did
2007.
not. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you didn't. Okay, because I'm wondering, did your sister, help you to motivate you to be more,
Yes. I understand. No, I always had a mammogram every year. But we were all shocked when my sister Carol was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay, and then you. Interesting. I just want to know. I see a thread through that question that a lot of women have had some type of traumatic experience prior to that. I now lost a parent before, within that time frame. So I just don't know. So now back to Hidden Scars. What are we doing with this movie? this a movie. Maybe it'll be a movie. It's a documentary now. Could be a movie.
Will you be a movie star then?
Yes, exactly. I like it. I like it. Where can our viewers see it? Is there a place they can go? Are you screening anywhere, or can they?
We are actually traveling to Minneapolis to a conference of breast imaging clinicians. We will be showing it in the Cancer Resource Center in Northbrook, also the Wellness House in Hinsdale, the Elgin Public Library.
All right.
Back at Living Well Cancer Resource Center in Geneva on May 14th, actually.
I tell you what I can do is I'll put a list of on our webpage, ChicagoBreastCancer.org, where you guys will be screening, and maybe we can organize some type of screening for our viewers to come and watch it somewhere.
That would be
fabulous.
awesome.
Invite you guys to come and check it out. It's not very long. How long is it? 48 minutes?
47, 48 minutes.
So it's very compelling from beginning until the end.
I would like to say too, we also have 2 plastic surgeons and an oncologist who gave their time and expertise to their observations about women and what they go through with a breast cancer diagnosis and a mastectomy.
Okay.
So that was an added validation to what women are thinking and feeling.
Absolutely. Okay, so an email or someplace that they can find you?
Casey Finn 13, CASEYFINN 13 at yahoo.com.
Sounds good to me. Casey Finn 13 at yahoo.com. Make sure if you have anything that you want to share with these ladies that you stop by. Something else to say? What are you gonna say? What if you had to wrap it up and tell these ladies your testimony, what's the last thing you'd say?
There's life lived after cancer diagnosis, and it's not the end, it's just the beginning. Cancer does change you, but very often it changes you for the better. I wouldn't have met Casey or Dana had all of us not been affected with cancer. So it's scary, but there's a life afterwards.
Casey?
I would say that to love yourself, be patient with yourself, let people in who want to love and help you. My hero husband, Mike, was there 100% of the time, and I couldn't have gotten through it without him. So thank those that are loving you and helping you, and know that you will learn so much on this journey, and the things that you learn are so important. And it's a diagnosis that impacts you, but it's not a diagnosis that keeps a lifetime from being lived.
Ooh, I like it. Very well said. And on that note, I'm going to remind you that if you need a mammogram, 312-942-3368 or ChicagoBreastCancer.org. Also, I want to remind you to join us on Advocacy Day at the Capitol. We're headed to Springfield, and we're trying to make a difference. And we need your voice. Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. You can call the same number, or you can call this direct number, 312-942-5599, and sign up today. We would love to have you join us on that little road trip down to Springfield. I also want to thank our all of you, our CAN TV family, my producer Donna Lynn Schaefer, our Grammy Award-winning music producer Maurice Joshua, the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force, Noel, Casey, and of course you. I'm Dana Devine. Now until the third Tuesday of next month at 5 o'clock, be safe, be blessed, and be sure. Don't deny, verify. Thank you.